And Kim and Marquez, I'm just going to say a couple words before you guys get started about the lead series coming up this year. So once we hit that.
It's noon, you can start.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, hello everybody, Happy New Year. If I haven't said Happy New Year to you before this, welcome to our first lead series of the year. This year we're going to do kind of a mix between internal speakers, which we will be doing today, and external speakers. So one of the things about the lead series, if you haven't been on for a while, it's about knowledge sharing. It's about bringing everybody together and discussing topics of interest. So if you do have anything that you want covered this year that you may not see on the list as of yet, please reach out to me and I can see if I can do a search and get a subject matter expert in. But today I wanted to introduce Kim Edelman and Marquez Cadet. They're going to be talking about our own safety and quality at ECC and all the ins and outs. So with that, I will let them take it away.
Okay, can you advance to the next slide, Natalie, please? Okay, so all of you on project sites, think about the last time there was a quality event or a safety incident. What was your first reaction? Was it where was quality or where was safety? I know I've heard that 100 times. I'm sure that's come out of many of our mouths, including my own, many times on project sites. So the whole point of this presentation is for Marquez and I to go through our perception of what we believe quality and safety should be and where we want our program to go within ECC. And basically, QC and safety should be everyone's responsibility. If you think about it, we're all on the sites together. We're a construction management company, and we all have to work together to ensure a successful project. Marquez, anything?
No, agreed. That's one of my pet peeves when I hear somebody say, well, where was quality? Where was safety? I mean, everybody's out there doing the job. So let's make sure that we all know what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So, okay, did you advance, Natalie? There we go. Quality and safety must be integral part to the work. If the work is performed with an emphasis on quality, then that's usually an indicator that the work was also performed safely. I mean, good contractors, good subcontractors, if they're going to do, if they're going to work safely, and they're going to do things that are of the utmost quality. So those two go hand in hand with good contractors and good subcontractors. Likewise, and second bullet point, likewise, if a work product has been performed with a strong focus on safety, chances are that the quality of the work was also excellent. So both are performance outcomes that require a plan, do, check, act, process-driven mindset. And we're going to go over that some more as we progress.
Okay.
Next slide.
Okay, so we did a bit of research, and I know insurance companies have done tons of research on this that further supports the fact that we need to integrate quality and safety seamlessly within the work that we do. Research by insurance companies shows that the safest contractors also have the fewest defect claims, which is great. So what we want to achieve is essentially a quality safety culture where truly integrated, everyone just does the right thing automatically. They don't think about it. You don't need a committee to walk around and look for problems, issues. You don't need a team to walk around and do that. Everyone takes care of it in their job within their area of responsibility. Next slide. Okay, for safety, part of our ECC core values and beliefs, safety. We value the safety, security, and wellness of our people and their families. This includes subcontractors, clients, anyone that we're in contact with during our work. We embrace healthy habits, behaviors. We plan and conduct our work in a manner that protects all these people as well as the property and the environment around us.
Yes, and to piggyback off of that, our ECC core values and beliefs also have a statement in regards to service. So we passionately value the opportunity to serve our clients and communities. We live our lives in pursuit of excellence, using our skills to achieve our clients' mission with pride and extraordinary results. I mean, that's an important thing too. Take pride in your work. So take pride in everything that we do. That goes from safety down to up to quality. So we just take pride in what we do. So we exist in harmony with the society and the environment, supporting organizations that benefit our communities and humankind. We take responsibility for our actions and hold ourselves accountable for quality and the execution of our work. So that sums it up. Let's all just take responsibility for what we're doing and what we're producing out there in the field. Next slide. The ECC mission statement, once again, reinforces what we just spoke about. The results, if you look at the ECC mission statement, the results say that we deliver excellence in the areas of safety, quality, cost, schedule, leading to client satisfaction and financial success. There it is again. We look to excel in all those areas. Next slide. Okay, let's take a look at the definition of quality control, in particular in the construction industry. So quality control in construction typically involves insurance compliance with the minimum standards of material and workmanship in order to ensure that the performance of our facility or the performance of our end product is done in accordance with the requirements, the design and applicable codes and standards. And then if there's a deviation from that, or if there's something that goes wrong, then we take corrective actions. So typically the quality control program is based on a periodic and random sampling, followed by feedback of results and change or adjustment wherever required. So what that means, that's a very important statement. We're not there all the time. We go out to the field on a periodic basis. So it's everybody's benefit to constantly monitor what's going on, to know what's going on, and to just make sure everything is being done correctly. So that's very important. That's why I made those bold. It's a periodic sampling, and periodic inspection and random sampling. Just like, say, for example, when we're placing concrete, we don't check every truck. We sample, say, every 50 yards, every 100 yards. So it's a random sampling process. Next slide. So the cost of quality. So some people think that, hey, let's take a shortcut and save some money. Let's evaluate what the cost of quality is. So cost of quality is divided into two main categories: the cost of conformance and the cost of non-conformance. Cost of conformance is that cost of providing products and services as per the specified standards and the design. And this can be termed as a good amount spent and is categorized into prevention and appraisal costs. And typically, that's what we bid. That's what our proposal was based on: what it costs to do the work one time. What it costs to do the work one time. Now, on the other hand, the cost of non-conformance is the failure cost associated with the process not being operated as per specs, as per the requirements. This can be termed as the unnecessary amount spent and is categorized into internal and external failure costs. So keep this in mind too. When we do something incorrectly, we have to pay 3 times now to do that same task. We pay to do it wrong the first time, we pay to rip it out, and then we pay to do it the 3rd time correctly. So it's 3 times as costly to at least 3 times as costly to do it wrong. So it just benefits us to do it correctly the first time. Next slide.
Okay, another definition, construction management. Construction management is what we do basically, aside from our environmental group, but most everyone else does construction management. And it is the professional service that uses specialized project management techniques to oversee planning, design, construction of a project from beginning to end. The purpose of our construction management procedures are to control a project's time, delivery, cost, safety, and quality. And basically, we're doing this to deliver this to our client. You know, we work for our client to ensure that we accomplish all of these things for them. Next slide. Okay, the project manager. The project manager is the key to every project. They plan and direct activities of designated of the project to ensure the goals or objectives of the project are accomplished. This includes delivery of a quality project with a safe record. And again, they're at the forefront. They're the person that integrates with the client, the subcontractors, manages the client, manages the subs, and ensures that the project itself in the field has everything they need to achieve what the end goal is. Going from plans, resources, personnel, all those things. Next slide. The construction manager. Okay, this is the person that is boots on the ground, running everything in the field. This person has probably the most face-to-face contact with everybody in the field. And this is the person that sets the standard and the tone for our project sites. You know, what the construction manager says is what goes. And this person is the one that takes the lead. And when I say taking the lead, it means to ensure, you know, a quality project completed safely, within budget, and on time, within the specifications. They're the person that the contractors will go to. They're the person that the client goes to. So they really got a big job, and they've got a lot of responsibility on their hands.
All right, the quality control manager. The quality control manager, he or she are the overall managers of the quality control program for that project. And they implement the QC plan, the approved QC plan. And they also have the authority to act independently on all QC matters. And for most of us know that the QC, quality control representatives, are supposed to be independent or act independently of the project management or operations staff. And they report typically to an officer of the company. And that's how these specs are written. So next slide. So some of the responsibilities of our QC managers are that they are the primary spokespersons on matters related to quality control program, to include any formal communication with our client, to review and certify that all submittals are compliant with the contract, and also they're responsible for maintaining the submittal register. They lead, coordinate, and document the 3-phase inspection process. Now, also, as far as the 3-phase inspection process, that to me is one of the most important aspects of a successful construction project, because in that in the 3-phase process, that's where we go over the preparatory meeting and the preparatory meetings, the initials, and the follow-ups. So as far as the preparatory meetings are concerned, though we coordinate and lead it, other team members should be involved in that process so everybody understands the expectations of the project as far as quality and as far as safety and as far as production. So all that is discussed, say, at the preparatory meeting, and once again, after a little bit of work has been executed, it's reviewed at the initial inspection, and then we confirm it that everything has been done when we perform our follow-up inspections. But that is definitely one of the most important aspects of the whole process. Next is the another responsibility is the identification and documentation of problems with quality. So yes, we are responsible for identifying them and documenting them. And in addition to that, we are to provide solutions, work with the team to provide solutions to any problems that we find. And then lastly, in regards to that, we verify and confirm that the corrective action has been properly implemented. Next slide. They also, some other responsibilities include confirming and documenting that the proper materials and equipment have been delivered and are in accordance with the approved submittals. This is also very, very important that when a material comes on site, especially the first time, that we confirm that the material is in fact what was submitted and approved. Secondly, we assure, coordinate, and witness and document all on. We manage other QC specialists and supervisors, and I want to stress this, we identify and address safety issues. We don't just identify the issues, but we take the next step and address it immediately. Because a lot of people take the approach of just identifying and then going and then, hey, where's the safety guy? Let me ask him to take care of this. No, a safety issue needs to be addressed immediately. Next slide.
Okay, safety and the safety manager, and this is kind of encompassing. We have site safety supervisors and safety managers who all act as the responsible party for safety, or most sites as an SSHO based on the government requirements. Their job is essentially to set the stage for safe operations. They've got to know the contents of the health and safety plans for the project sites, and they're responsible to ensure implementation of the health and safety plan. They'll conduct when new subcontractors come on board or when the project starts off. They're responsible to conduct the orientations to ensure everyone understands the basic safety rules. You know, what's in the accident prevention plan? If there's a health and safety plan, you know, what are the health hazards? They review everything about the project, you know, any special client requirements, safety hazards, any special processes, emergency procedures, everything related to the APP. They assist subcontractors. This is really important because I think most of you know that a lot of times we use subcontractors that aren't well experienced in working with the government. And sometimes they don't understand how to prepare AHAs. So one of our big functions is to assist subcontractors to make sure that they have all their plans and documentations in place so that they can proceed with their work safely. One of those biggest issues is the AHA preparation. You know, we want to review those. We want to see what's going on. We want to see them before the work's going to start so that we can make sure that they're adequate for the work that's going to occur. I mean, we realize our subcontractor is a specialist in their area. That's why they're doing the work for us. But sometimes they don't know how to convey that information into the documentation that we need to be able to ensure that they understand all the steps and the hazards associated with those steps and what the client's going to accept. So we want to work with them to make sure they have those things. We want to review the AHAs with them. We want to make sure any other plans, you know, if there's going to be a silica issue, if they're going to cut concrete, is there a plan for managing silica exposure? So, you know, mold, asbestos, lead, all those things. So that's part of what the SSHO does in the initial. And part of all that information comes from the AHAs because that's where you identify the tasks that you're going to perform. So based on those tasks, it triggers the thought process of the additional plans that we may need. So this part's really, really important, and we need to make sure that SSHOs are fully engaged in this phase. Then they monitor the tasks to ensure that the work that the subs are continuing to do matches what they said they're going to do, and that they're appropriately protected. And if they're not, then we stop, work with them, work with their supervision to make sure that they do address those hazards and that everyone can move on safely. We're there to provide technical assistance to the CMs, supervisors, project managers. Maybe they don't understand an interpretation of a procedure, a regulation. They don't know if a regulation applies. That's what we're there for, and that's what our resource is. And if the SSHO on site doesn't know, they've got a backup resource off-site that they can get in touch with to help them as well. So we've got a decent network, so we're here to help. You know, anything that supervisors, project managers, even quality, anybody on site, if you need help, let us know, we can help you. We're there to help identify needs. Maybe there's some training that we missed. Maybe there's a new task or a condition changed that triggered new training that is required. So we help to ensure that that gets accomplished and that the subcontractors doing the work, you know, receive the appropriate training, and is it right for what they're doing? And if we need to help them do the training, that's what we're there for. And again, most of what we do on site after the startup and getting things going is daily observation and subcontractor guidance. You know, we do our best to be on the site, interacting continually, not just to look at paperwork, but to watch behaviors and to understand the work the subs are doing and kind of give them feedback whether or not there's maybe a better way, maybe a safer way, maybe a better tool, you know, all those types of things. And our job is to work with construction, quality, project management, everyone, to ensure that the work is completed appropriately, safely, on time and within budget. We're there to help, and we're there to facilitate all those things, not to hold up. We're there to facilitate. Next slide. Oh, Marquez, it's yours again.
So, recently, as most of you know, recently I was promoted to the position of Director of Construction Quality Control. So some of my responsibilities will be the comprehensive oversight and management of the quality control program for, and I made this bold, for construction projects. So I will not be, unless needed, but for the most part, I won't have too much involvement with the environmental or UXO projects. Secondly,
Teams right now.
what's that? Oh, okay. Secondly, another one of my responsibilities will be to maintain ISO 9001 certification for the company, to include changes, upgrade, implementation, documentation, training, and I will be involved with the auditing process too. So we'll be going around to your sites to perform the ISO 9001 internal audits. Also, I will be responsible for providing technical support for proposals, construction, and estimating teams during the pre-bid, construction, post-construction phases of project to ensure quality opportunities are optimized and quality meets or exceeds expectations. Next slide. Another one of my responsibilities will be to take appropriate action to ensure that documentation is reviewed, completed thoroughly and accurately, and retained in accordance with the company standards. Creating and overseeing the implementation of programs to effectively manage risk and eliminate and minimize loss. So looking ahead, you know, we'd be going to projects and looking ahead and making sure that we're covering all of our bases to reduce liability. Collaborating with the health and safety counterparts to ensure that work supports and aligns with the efforts in both functional areas. Auditing project QC programs and ensuring reporting of rework items and lessons learned. And then I'll be talking about lessons learned some more because we really have to put a greater emphasis on the lessons learned, which can greatly benefit the company. Next. Kim.
Okay, so, sorry. So my role, and again, this is really similar to exactly what Marquez does as well. It's overall management of the entire ESH program within ECC. Also to help sites, we have one site that is VPP certified currently. We've got a few other sites that are working toward that. So part of my job is to help them with that, be a resource, and reach out to others that also have expertise if I don't know something. So I'm here to help with that. Update programs, program implementation, training, audits, all those things, you know, and I can't stress enough that if there's something that you feel that you need or that your group needs or any of your employees related to training or programs, new procedures, you know, please speak up, please come to me, let me know what your needs are, and we'll find a way to do it, and we'll figure out a way to get it done for you. I know it can be challenging in the field. I know time is of the essence, but we can still work around that, and we can figure out a way to get things done. I'm also here to help with proposals, you know, technical support, reviewing RFPs, just to look to see, you know, what are the requirements for safety? Are we covering everything we need to cover? Do we have the staffing to make sure what the requirements are so we know what type of person we need to fulfill those requirements? So, you know, get me involved. I'm here to help. Pre-mobilization too. Do we have all the plans in place? Do we have the correct people in place? You know, a lot of times in proposals, we'll put a name and a resume in, but now that person's not available, they were sent to another project site. So we want to make sure that we have someone that can fulfill the role that meets the required qualifications. During performance phases, make sure that, you know, things are implemented. Do we have the right staff? Are they doing what they need to do? Is everybody working well together? Are the plans in place? Do we need to create any additional procedures or any, you know, anything like that, support, any training, specialized training that that came up that we may need? I'm here to support that and help with that. In addition to interpretation, work with the clients, you know, regulatory requirements, all that kind of stuff. Next slide. Take action to make sure that we're doing the things we need to do in the field. You know, are we doing the proper reporting? Are we doing our inspections? Are we doing everything in compliance with our company procedures? Create and oversee the implementation of programs to effectively manage risk and eliminate risks and minimize loss. Same thing as QC. It's basically the same, just from a safety standpoint, personnel standpoint, rather than, you know, a material standpoint. It's a people standpoint. Again, collaborate with everyone. Like I said before, we're here to help and facilitate a positive work environment that's productive, that allows us to complete our projects on budget, safely, with high level of quality. So, you know, we're here to help. We want to help, and we want to be part of the process. So, you know, work with us, help us understand everything you're doing and understand your needs. I try to get out to see so that I know what you're doing, so I have a better understanding, but still there are things I miss. And if there's something you need, please let me know. If you're having issues, you don't have the right support, let me know. We'll work with that. We'll fix it. We want our projects to be successful, and that's what we're here for. I talked about auditing, and the last one too is really important, that we're really weak on, not reporting the incidents so much, but the lessons learned part of it. So we really need to make sure that we're getting incidents, you know, as things happen, we're talking about it, and we're developing lessons learned where we can share. Really important. Next slide.
Okay, so as far as the lessons learned process, Ken touched on it and I touched on it. And keep in mind, people, when you generate a incident report, say you generate a safety incident report or a quality incident report, if it is a substantial issue, it needs to be transferred into, and it also needs to be documented into the lessons learned database, the lessons learned portion of the database, because just think of it this way, it serves to educate all of ECC employees regarding that particular issue. If it's a positive issue, so we can repeat it, and if it's a negative issue, is so we don't do it again. But as far as the lessons learned in general, the lessons learned are contained in our organizational database. The ECC SOP 3 covers the organizational knowledge, and the purpose of the organizational database is to ensure that ECC learns from past experiences, both good and bad, and uses this knowledge to continually improve the ECC management system and the company performance. So the organizational database, knowledge database, is comprised of basically 3 sections: the EHS incident reports, the QC incident reports, and the lessons learned. The lessons learned section enables an individual to enter a lessons learned from the ECC experience without developing an incident report and investigation. That's the main difference. The incidents do cause us to investigate the cause, and the lessons learned just identifies what happened and the key takeaways, and also evaluates the root causes. Next slide. And this is where you can find it on your EchoNet dashboard. There's your organizational database.
Right. And just to point out, it does, I mean, the reports for EHS and quality are basically the same report. So it takes you to the same location.
Yeah. But we still need additional participation in both.
Yes.
In all 3. Oh, next slide. Okay, long-term goals for the QC organization. So some of the long-term goals include instituting new policies and programs to ensure our continual improvement. So new policies and programs, for example, I know you guys have probably seen them, but we begin generating weekly QC topics that go out. We try and get them out every week. And then one thing that I'd look to do also is, and that will be coming out soon, is a weekly QC toolbox talk to have with our subcontractors. So that'll be coming out shortly. Next, generate, finalize, and enforce the SOPs. So I know the whole PMCX department is finalizing the SOPs, revising them, and we're generating some new ones where needed. Some of the SOPs that I know I've worked on just recently are the as-built and red lines testing and material receipt inspections, and they're just waiting for final signatures. So you'll be seeing those soon. Next, we look to digitize our reporting and we look to create some form templates. And those hopefully will be in a tablet format. And we will also be able to use them on laptops, especially for secure projects where we're not allowed to use tablets on site. So these are being developed, the templates are being developed for things such as the daily reports and our testing reports, basic forms and logs. We look to have all that digitized, and then that jumps right into item number 4, where we begin to take the data that's generated from the tablets and we start trending and analyzing the captured data. Number 5 is we look to provide additional training and industry updates specific to quality control, so we can everybody can be better equipped to perform their duties on site, and provide accessibility to needed resources, and that's something that we're looking into also, and that will be things such as accessibility to codes and standards. So I know I often get questions a request for a particular code or standard. So we're looking to look to see what the best method is to get you guys that information. Next.
Okay, safety, and you'll see that a lot of this mimics exactly what Marquez just said. The same things that we want to do. We want to continually improve our programs. We want to continue to get better, because obviously the goal in the safety world is to eliminate incidents altogether. So how do we do that? We monitor performance. We watch people work. We see what they're doing, see how they're doing it. We look for trends. We look how those trends affect other project sites and how can we improve in those areas so that we can help our subcontractors be more successful so that they're not getting hurt. We conduct site visits to try to identify those trends and watch the work and monitor what's going on. Inspection data. I know everybody sighs when I say inspections, but it's incredibly important, and I'll get into the management inspections in a little bit, but that information is critical because there's one of me and there's many of you. So the more we work together and generate more information based on what we're seeing every day in the field, the better we can address some of the issues that are affecting our subcontractors in a negative way. We review incident data and surveys. We do surveys annually. So you'll see that coming out again soon in relation to Contractor Safety Week in May. So all those things are important. I want to continue to provide technical expertise and industrial hygiene expertise for our groups. I want to continue to build the capabilities of our group and improve the technical expertise of our safety professionals and continue to push them into continuing education and certification processes. Additionally, continue to educate everyone that works on our sites, that touches our subcontractors. Because like I said, we all have a part in safety, we all have to help, but if we don't know how to do that, then we can't be effective. So we need to make sure that everyone has the tools to understand the rules, understand what to look for, understand how to ID the issues and the problems, and then how to address it. Because I think some of the problems, people want to wait, they identify something, they see something, they wait to tell the safety person because sometimes it's hard to bring that to someone's attention and they don't quite know how to do that. So things like that we need to work on, and I want to provide the resources for you to be able to do that so we can truly establish a culture. Training, just like I talked about, facilitate training on site. What are your needs? What are you running into? What issues are you coming across? When your subs come out, where are they deficient? Where are they not, where are they not trained, so that we can head that stuff off before they get to site. Provide resources to help with that. Provide, on-site training if we need it. And again, training in the regulatory information and procedure interpretations. All those things, all the things that make us better. Next slide.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on some of the concepts from Mr. W. Edwards Deming. He's considered to be one of the fathers of quality. And these are his 14, well, I just listed 10 of them, but he has 14 points of quality for total quality management. And one of them, let's just kind of go through them. Create constancy of purpose for improving products and services. So we're always looking to improve, and we do it intentionally. Okay, the second one I made very bold. I said, cease dependence on inspection to achieve quality. Everybody should know what we're to install, how we're to install it, and don't depend on the QC representatives to tell you if you installed it properly or incorrectly. Always, number 2 is extremely important. Don't depend on QC to achieve quality. Let's do it on purpose. Let's get it done right the first time. Third, Kim, you could jump into if you want, if you need to say anything regarding these points.
Okay.
Thirdly, improve constantly and forever every process for planning, production, and service. Institute training on the job. That's it. If our subcontractors need additional on-the-job training, and usually that happens at the preparatory meeting and the initial inspection. And if it needs to happen additionally, then we need to do it so they can get it done properly. And that would involve both. I see that as both safety and quality. Most of these concepts apply to both safety and quality.
I was just going to say that. They absolutely do. Everything applies to safety. It's the same concept and the same type of culture we're trying to instill.
Correct. Adopt and institute leadership, so everybody's a leader, especially when it comes to safety and quality. Drive out fear. Don't be afraid to do things correctly. Break down barriers between staff areas, especially because sometimes I hear issues regarding, hey, they didn't communicate with me as to when we were supposed to do the prep or when we're going to perform this feature of work. Let's break down those barriers and let's all communicate properly with each other. Remove barriers that rob people of pride of workmanship and eliminate this annual rating or merit system. Let's take pride in what we do. I think we discussed that earlier. Everybody should take pride in what we do, and we can instill that culture with our subcontractors too, who are performing the work. Institute a vigorous program of education and self-improvement for everyone. I know Natalie does a fantastic job of making sure that we are well trained. We always have a lot of training to do, which only helps us all improve and put everybody in the company to work accomplishing this transformation, making sure that we're all striving for a company which does things just like we said earlier, with quality, with safety, cost effectively, and make sure that we're doing it. Performing our projects on time. Next slide. Okay, and this is the wheel of how we execute this. I'm going to start off with number one, which is plan. We plan our work. I can't stress the importance of planning our work before we just go out there and start doing things. I mean, the planning starts at the bid stage, make sure we're bidding it properly. The design stage, make sure that the design incorporates everything that needs to be done per the contract and that it can be done. I mean, we do constructability reviews before we actually start working. Then we implement the 3-phase process also. So, and then we always make sure that we include our subcontractors so they're on the same page in regards to planning. So after the planning, we go down to do. So we do the work, the subcontractor performs the work as we discussed it in the plans. And that would be probably the preparatory meeting. And then afterwards, we check it. And this is part of the 3-phase process too, where we perform our initial inspection, making sure that it is in fact what was discussed. And then afterwards, we also conduct our follow-up inspections after we had an acceptable initial inspection. And then lastly, we act. We act to monitor the work that's going on, and we implement ways to continually improve it. If we see something that can be improved, let's discuss it and implement it.
Exactly. And I'm going to say again, safety goes exactly the same way. There really is no difference. We should implement the same processes into safety.
Absolutely. I mean, because I look at it as the aha. You talk, especially when we're starting a new feature of work, we go ahead and we institute an aha. We go through it, plan, do, check, act. That's it. And then we're continuously improving the ahas. If we find something that we can implement,
that's
that
right,
can make our work safer. So it's the same thing. Okay, next.
Okay, everybody's favorite topic, management safety inspections and why your participation matters. I'm just going to sum up all these little things. I think that we all understand that we have a role in safety, but I think we don't understand that as leaders, how much we underestimate the power of our presence in the field and face-to-face communication with everyone in the field. It not only improves morale, but it makes employees feel valued. It makes employees feel like they really can talk to everyone, that their information is valuable, that problems that they have really matter, and that we really truly care and will help them. And in order to establish a really positive safety culture, you've got to have that. You've got to have that interaction. You've got to have that transparency. And you can't build it if you're not in the field talking to your employees or talking to the subcontractors and initiating that communication. Even just a little bit of hello, how's it going? It means so much. That's one of the main reasons that we want to push doing these management safety inspections. You know, SSHOs are out there all the time. They do this all the time. They're out interacting all the time. But other leadership doesn't necessarily do that. You get tied down to your desk. You're busy with other things. You don't have time. I understand that, but it's really, really important to the success of the team and the culture for you to be able to make the time and take the time. Only a few minutes even. Get out, talk to your employees. You don't even have to go, know your list before you go out. The biggest thing is to get out there and talk to them and encourage the feedback. So that's the biggest reason. Next slide.
One thing, Kim, one thing I want to add too is one thing that's important for us as leaders, as construction managers, is always to lead by example.
That's right.
So if everybody sees you out there doing your safety inspection, everyone else will do it too. They'll take it seriously too.
Right. They'll take it seriously, and the crews will understand that you're serious about it. I mean, yes. Think about it. When you have senior leadership, project managers going out and asking how things are going, it makes a huge difference. It really does. And not only safety and quality, but production as well. They're going to feel valued, and they're going to feel like their work really matters to the end game. So it's important. And just to quickly review the goals of our inspection program, senior leadership program management, the goal is 2 a quarter. I know you're not always out on site, but if you do go to a site, take a few minutes to go through and walk the site and ask a few questions, talk to someone, ask them how it's going, ask them how safety is. Do they have all the tools they need? Do they know what their hazards are? Do they get responsive? If they need something, are we responsive? Do we help them get it? Those kinds of things. Project managers, again, your goal is monthly. And same thing, I know you're not on every site every month, but if you do go to a site, make sure you're out talking to the crews and talking to the staff on site. Construction managers, site supervisors, quality control personnel, again, this is biweekly, and you guys are always out on the site, so it's a little easier. I think most of the time we just forget to enter the information or, take the time to fill out a form. So please make a point of doing this. And again, this information is critical. Like I said, we get a certain aspect of operations from the safety professionals, but you'll get a different aspect from the employees when you're out walking. So that information is important. I mean, employees will tell you things they won't tell the SSHO. So we need to know that. If there are issues that we can help with that are occurring on one site, guarantee they're happening on another site. We want to know that. That's the reason to capture this information, and that's the reason that we need to see it and share it. The mobile application is up and running. I realize we have 3 systems right now. Camp Lejeune has one, and Cal Recycle is using another platform, but everyone else is on the same. So let's make sure that you've got the application installed, and if you have questions or problems, let us know. But we really, really need to use the mobile applications to get these done and to submit the information. That way I see it, that way I know I see it, I get it. It just makes the process so much simpler. So any problems or questions, let me know, but please, we really need to focus on getting out there, talking to employees, finding where their issues are, and helping to resolve those issues. So this is one way to do it. So let's please support it and let's get out there. That's all on that slide. Okay, in summary, everyone needs to take an active role and present as a unified front when it comes to quality and safety. I think we've kind of made that clear. As a team and our presence on site, we have to all present the same way to our subcontractors. If you don't do that, then you end up with a police force type attitude when it comes to safety or quality. And I know there are some sites here where you guys know, if you're listening, that you walk through a building and there are different signals to say, oh, safety guys come and get your safety glasses on, get your hard hat on, or here comes quality, make sure you're doing that the right way. It's the same thing. They really do have signs and signals. So if we all present the same attitude, the same culture, the same requirements, the same expectations, then that's going to help eliminate that. And our subcontractors will understand that we mean business and we really are doing this for the good of all, because it really is. We want employees to go home safely. We want a quality product. We want to make our clients happy. If we don't make our clients happy, we don't continue to work. So it's really, really important. Marquez, anything?
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what you said, just let's make sure that everybody takes pride in what they do.
That's right.
I don't want you to do. You know, would you want somebody to know that, hey, I did it unsafely and it came out looking horribly? It's just horrible? No, just take pride in what we do, and we need to instill that with our subcontractors too. That's it for me.
That's all I have.
Me too. That's all, folks. Unless there's any questions.
Are there any questions?
Hey, Kim and Marquez, Glenn here. I don't really have any questions, but I just want to add to it. I think you guys are great resources, and I think you play a huge role with the company across the board. So appreciate that. And then, you know, I think the takeaway partly is, you know, what do we do on job? Going back to construction 101, and that we're all responsible for it, and we just can't walk away from it. If we see it, we have to deal with it.
That's right.
And a lot of our, you know, our kind of our model of how we run work and our culture is, a lot of times we just have to go tell a subcontractor or another contractor to go take care of the problem. So it's just a decision-making process. And sometimes we have a hard time with that decision. And sometimes we take this to the owner and ask for forgiveness. And you really need to pick and choose when you want to do that with the owner, because that's not really the way to go. We need to go do work exactly per the contract to the best of our ability. So anyway, appreciate you two guys. And we need to look to our other leaders, SSHOs and the QCMs. But at the end of the day, we all have that responsibility.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Any other questions?
Great job, everybody.
Thanks, August.
Thanks, August. If you had any, just real quick, if you had any training requests within the chat, I know that I saw one from Lewis and potentially from Julietta. Please feel free to reach out to us and we can work with you on making that happen. So appreciate those suggestions. With that, if there's no other questions, we'll adjourn. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Marquez. You guys did a wonderful job, and have a wonderful rest.